everyone, it's Izzy here. So I know I'm not doing a recap for the last episode of Game of Thrones. It was a week ago. I was in Cleveland a week ago and I didn't really have a good setup to film a video, so there's not going to be a recap. This is more just going to be my thoughts of the episode and just how everything went down, what I think about who's on the throne. So before we get into all the juicy stuff, this video will have spoilers, so if you have not seen the last episode, The Iron Throne of Season 8 of Game of Thrones, please do not watch this video. You can click the icon up there to check out some of my other videos that do not include spoilers. But let's get into this video. I'm not going to go through everything that happened in the episode because, as I said, this is not a recap. I'm just going to do the two basic things about somebody who died and then who ended up on the Iron Throne and my thoughts on those things. I did watch the documentary that aired on HBO last night about basically the behind the scenes of the season 8. And one complaint is, I don't know how to say his name, but the guy who makes all the lovely music for this amazing TV show. The music is so good. I already have the CD for season 8 pre-ordered just because I like to have hard copies of CDs. Hard copies of music I used to. So I have that pre-ordered and it comes out July 19th, I think, so very exciting. I wish they would have shown more of how he came up with the music and all. I don't know if they've done that in the past, but I would really like to see something like that. Because I am curious about the music side of things and TV shows and movies, how they come up with the soundtrack. Like, do they have the soundtrack before they film the show, or do they make the soundtrack after they film it? Like, I'm just really interested in that. So if you guys know, tell me down below in the comments because I'm fascinated by it. But okay, so we're gonna talk about what happened first, and that is Jon Snow killed Daenerys. So I assumed it was gonna happen and he would be Azor Ahai, which I still think he could be Azor Ahai, or the princess promised, the darkness being Daenerys and just evil tyrants on the throne, basically. I think that was the darkness rather than the Night King. I didn't originally think that, but as we got to like episode 6, I thought that would be the case. We know for a fact no, but he did kill Daenerys. I could bash this episode a lot. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the last scene as well, but I could bash this episode a lot because there was a lot that I did not like about it, but especially right after I watched it, because you can see the vlog of me in Cleveland and I'm just like, what did I just watch kind of deal. But having a week after now, and even just a few days after, I do feel differently about how things ended. But Jon killing Daenerys, I only saw that was gonna happen even in season 7. I was like, he's gonna kill her. So I was not shocked by that. Now, Bran being king, I do not support at all. I don't feel like the show or the books led up to that at all. Like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know who was just like, let's have Bran on the throne. And I know Isaac, I don't know his last name, but who plays Bran, thought the script was a joke. And I think we all would have thought it was a joke if we were handed that script. Like, I get it that he knows everything in history, and as y'all know, I didn't want monarchy to go away, but it kind of, they're like electing the leader, and I feel like that is going to have a downfall at some point, obviously, like everything does. A lot of problems they had with Rome is how they would like elect a leader, and the emperor would be saying their son would be the next emperor and all that. So I do think that this, I don't even know what kind of government it is, so if you know, tell me down below in the comments. I think that will fail at some point and will cause a war. And then with the North becoming independent and the other countries, I think the Iron Islands most definitely would want to be independent, but I don't know if they are automatically independent since they were. Daenerys said they could be, so I don't know how that plays out. I don't know if they're already independent. Yeah, I really don't get why Bran's king. Another thing, I think that they should, like, none of them said anything about Jon when half the people there knew that Jon is Aegon Targaryen. I think they should have had Jon come out and be like, we want you as king. And I think he should have said, like he's been saying all the time, I don't want it, and give it to somebody else. I think that would have been better than how they did things, but they didn't do it like that. Now, I was very upset about Jon not being on the throne. As you can see, the Funko Pop is Jon on the throne. I'm a big Jon Snow supporter. And I do think the books are gonna end differently than the show. I've read all the books, and hopefully YouTube will still be a thing when the other books come out so I can talk about it with you guys. Yeah, so I was very upset with Jon not ending up on the throne, but now I'm not upset. I think he had a good ending, because I feel like he is living the life that he would have wanted to live, and I do think he could potentially become king beyond the wall at some point. I do think he could have a family of his own at some point, even though I know they said he'd join the Night's Watch. I think they said that to make Grey Worm happy, because I don't see there being a point in a Night's Watch anymore. So I do think Jon Snow's out there living his best life with his best friend and his ghost, his dog, his wolf. So I am not as upset as I was. And then Arya sailing around the world, I did think about that like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, I wonder if she's gonna do anything about that. And nah, she's because in one of the earlier seasons she said she wanted to see what was west of Westeros or something like that. So I'm fine with her ending. And then Sansa being crowned queen in the north, it was so good. The song it ended with, it's not the Winds of Winter, but they're still singing in Valyrian, and I thought it was gonna end with the Winds of Winter, so it's kind of like the same thing. They're singing in Valyrian, so I kind of predicted the music that was gonna be at the end. But yes, it was such the ending with all the Starks. Y'all know the ending I'm talking about if you saw it. It was so good, and I did really like that. But yeah, I think basically from when Daenerys died, I enjoyed everything with Daenerys dying, like everything before that and her death, and then just the stuff in the middle, I was just kind of like, what? And then the last scene with the Starks all going their different ways, I really loved that scene. I think it's one of the best on the show. So, but all that in between, I'm just like, what even happened? I don't get why Bronn is on Bran's council. I don't know. But yeah, so that's everything I have to say about the final episode of Game of Thrones. As I said, I do think the books are gonna end differently, but that is a subject for a different time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye guys!